What is going on, guys, and welcome to ForTheFans, your daily World Cup football podcast with me, Jack, and my co-host Ben. Today we're going to be looking back to yesterday's action where Messi propelled Argentina to glory and Pogba got a little bit frisky on the floor. Meanwhile, we'll also be taking a look forward to what you guys can expect from today's matches featuring Germany and Portugal, Ghana the USA, and Iran and Nigeria. Let's get straight into this.
Hello everyone, day 5, Jack's here again.
Hello, Ben!
Brilliant, and once again, we have a guest. This time, it's famous FIFA YouTuber Calfreezy. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm excited. Good,
I'm excited. For people who don't know who you are or what you do, can you give us a little run through?
Yeah, well, I do FIFA YouTube stuff. I pretty much talk over the FIFA game, and some people like to listen, and other people don't like to listen. So that's what I do.
You're like a virtual Andy Townsend.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
It wasn't. Shall we get straight into yesterday's games? We'll start with Switzerland versus Ecuador. It was the early-ish kickoff at 5 o'clock. Jack, what did you firstly make of how Ecuador handled themselves against the highly ranked Swiss side?
I've got to be honest, I thought Ecuador were going to play a little bit dirtier, but they kind of distinguished themselves somewhat from Honduras in my mind. They got that early goal, went in at the break, 1-0 up, and to be honest, they didn't really look that bad, and they were doing giving a good account of themselves against, as you said, a Swiss side which, despite the fact they're kind of being, I want to say they're being kind of played down by their coach. Realistically, when you're ranked 6th in the FIFA World Rankings or whatever it is, you should be beating Ecuador every day of the week.
Cal, did you see much of the game? Did you see the whole game?
Yeah, no, I watched the game because I've been putting a lot of money on these games, so it's kind of important that, I stay tuned, and thankfully there was a really late goal that saved my ass, so...
Were you one of these people that does 2.5 goals or more?
I actually do a range, but yeah, that happens to be one of them, and I happened to be on that game. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game, actually. I thought Switzerland were really good, but yeah, I never realized actually how many quality players they had in their side. I was really excited to see Shaqiri play, actually. He had a couple chances that I thought he maybe should have buried, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, he was a little bit wasteful. I think the commentators were saying that he hasn't got a big move because of 2 bad corners and a free kick, when that probably isn't the reason. He probably quite likes being at Bayern Munich. But anyway, go on.
Well, I was just about to say, I don't know, because I've heard a lot of things about him on the club level, really. I've heard that he wants to move because he's not getting a starting game time, but he also really wants to go to a Champions League side, but they don't know if he'll get a starting spot, all this sort of stuff, so I don't know if he's going to be at Bayern next season.
Didn't he get man of the match?
Yeah, definitely, because he's the most popular player on the pitch.
I don't know, I've had a rant about this yesterday, Callum. I don't know if you heard about this, but basically FIFA are doing the man of the matches off votes, and it's literally a popularity contest.
Well, yeah, that's just doesn't make sense. I don't know why you'd ever do it that way.
So I'm ranting about it. Every time there's a wrong decision. I'm guessing Messi won it in the Argentina game, but we'll come on to that whenever.
He did.
Did he actually, yeah?
Yeah, of course he did. So that was the early kickoff. There wasn't too much to talk about. Late goal, obviously. That was a moment for people that had bets on. I'm sure you were celebrating like you were a Switzerland fan.
Yeah, I was Switzerland for all 10 seconds of that, and it was actually great. Like that, I love a last minute sort of game changer, and it was a really nicely worked goal. It was actually quite funny though, because on the complete other side of it, Ecuador had a really good opportunity, and it was just one of the best tackles I've seen so far. And guy picks it up and just creates this epic counter attack, and they end up going to score from it. So
the thing I liked about that game was the fact that neither team wanted to hold back, and that's kind of been a theme throughout the World Cup. That obviously we've not had a draw now in 80 odd years, like in 9 games, and it's the first time like the first 9 games haven't had a draw in like 80 years since one of the very first World Cups. And I think it was kind of epitomised in this game where both teams were just so attacking.
Yeah, it's been like that with a lot of the games though. Everyone thought it'd be, especially the commentators continuously go on about how it's going to be cagey and it could, no one really wants to make the first move, no one wants to lose their first game, but it's been completely opposite really. Everyone wants to win the first game, and they've just been going all out. So there's been plenty of goals, which makes for a really entertaining World Cup.
Yeah, I think people have looked at the World Cup and thought we need to go for it, and then Holland hammering Spain was kind of the go-ahead for everyone to go, well, if they do that to Spain, we can do that to anyone.
Yeah.
So I think that really has pushed people on to just go, well, why not? We're at a World Cup, we might as well try and enjoy it.
I feel sorry for Nasser because the they came out at the start of World Cup and said, we've studied this ball, we've looked at the aerodynamics, it's going to be easy for keepers, strikers are at a disadvantage, and I'm questioning NASA at this point.
Well, why wouldn't you? We'll look at France 3, Honduras 0. It was incident-packed, wasn't it? Honduras were responsible for that, I feel. Jack?
Where do you want to start with this?
Shall we start with the Pogba-Palacios incident?
Let's go for it. So this, if you missed it, basically, Palacios stood all over Pogba and Pogba kicked him. As far as I'm concerned, whilst the ref's not stuck to the letter of the law, I feel as if whatever he gave to one of the players, he had to give to the other, and then giving them both yellows, I don't feel like he's made the worst judgment call in the world. I kind of feel like I'd rather see an 11v11 and perhaps the ref has somewhat disregarded the rules and kind of the laws of the game in order to keep a spectacle going.
Yeah, Cal, what did you think? Send it off?
No, I personally think the ref handled it spot on, really. Just because, yeah, obviously both players, did something wrong. Pogba reacted, but the stamping was pretty dirty itself, and so they each deserve some form of punishment. But for the sake of the game, I really did not want to see two players sent off. And I think by just giving them a yellow each, obviously, if you were to go by the letter of the law, both would be sent off. And I just think that it was a really good decision, not only for the fans and things, but also for the players. It means that they're still involved in the World Cup. And I personally think he handled it well.
Okay, so the game continued. Palacios then causes a penalty. Benzema pops it in. Palacios sent off. He wasn't very happy, but then again, Honduras didn't look happy at all, did they? They were getting well riled about stuff. Apparently, they did 6.6. Like 6.6 was their average. Every 6.6 minutes, Honduras gave away a foul, which is a lot of fouls in a game of football.
I mean, especially that Palacios guy, and then I believe it was Figueroa later on in the game. I mean, they play really physical football, and that's like the one thing I picked up pretty quickly. And even against the friendly against England, I was actually pretty concerned that England were going to come away with quite a few injured players. But I mean, they just play really, really aggressive, almost dirty football, if I'm honest with you. So Palacios going off, I didn't, I wouldn't say that's a surprise. It was well deserved, I guess, and he'd be lunging in to some pretty crazy tackles and things, and it was just I was kind of surprised that there weren't more injuries in that game because Honduras just played really, really crazy. But definitely a penalty and good goal.
I was going to say there's kind of a difference between kind of playing physically and playing dirtily, and there's a very fine line there. But it was quite apparent, I think, for most people watching that Honduras kind of crossed that line. I feel as if Palacios, the ref gives him a second chance for standing all over Pogba, and within 10 minutes he goes and gets himself sent off for a second yellow on just a really blatant barge. It's kind of a case of... I feel like the ref could have sent off a lot of more players, and I think he got a little bit more lenient towards the end, but as you said, there were some real hard, crunching tackles flying in from the Honduras players.
I'm not letting this go, Jack. You've just said dirtily.
Sorry.
Dirtily's not a word.
It is now.
Dirtily. Right, we're going to keep dirtily going throughout the rest of the tournament. From that point on, France looked like they were in control then. Honduras never really... I don't know. I don't think they were very threatening. I think Loris made one save all game. And then... So the game continued. It was all going at quite a leisurely pace. Everyone was quite calm. France were in control. And then all of a sudden, Benzema hits the post. The keeper fumbles on the line. And then Jonathan Pearce has a meltdown.
Yeah, quite literally... Almost, I thought he was going to commit on that commentary. I was genuine. He just wouldn't shut up about it, and he genuinely thought the world was coming to an end when this whole goal line technology stuff came into play. And it was literally so painful to watch because there was no debate about anything really. The goal line technology worked perfectly. It told us twice. When it was and wasn't in, which is kind of fine. I mean, I guess if you're in the stadium, it's a little bit different. You see the first one and it says no goal or whatever, and you're like, you go a bit crazy, and then it shows you actually it did go in. But yeah, I don't know why the commentators would not shut up about it. It literally drove me mad. I was sitting there like, every about 5 minutes he would bring it up, and he just, oh my god, it just drove me mad.
If Martin Keown wasn't there, then I don't know what would have happened. If Martin Keown wasn't there just to put us on our man on the show, Jonathan, that's okay. It's fine. It was a goal. It's absolutely fine. Jonathan's like, yeah, but Martin, we've never seen anything like it before. Well, what a good job it's him. I was like, yeah, but it's fine, Jonathan. It's a goal now. We can all move on. Yeah, but Martin, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. This is up there with. This is remarkable in the World Cup finals. Goal technology. We've seen it works, but does it work? Was it in? Yes, Jonathan. It was. Jonathan, please move on. There's a shot at the other end. And it just went on like that for about 10 minutes.
I've been a big advocate of Jonathan Pearce. I used to love him. I have a poster up on my wall of when he did Robot Wars, and I thought,
no, stop.
No,
you had a poster
up on him.
Of John, when I was a kid, I had a poster of Jonathan Pearce, and I was thinking,
he's not a pin-up, is he?
Yes.
He's not like Beckham. I had people have Beckham, Owen, Gerrard.
I had Jonathan
Pearce.
Well, the thing is, I thought history with Robot Wars, he's going to get this technology. He looked confused. I'm thinking, thank God he wasn't a judge on Robot Wars, or we never would have got a result in that show.
I've just had to Google image Jonathan Pearce just to imagine what it would be like to have him up on a wall. Yeah, why is this guy up on your wall?
Is he above the bed, or is he like, as you wake up, he's there? Because I've got David Brent opposite my bed.
He's on my door, so as I left my house and left my room to go to the big wide world, Jonathan Pearce saw me out.
I'd like to think every time you left the room, you just give him a nod. And like, right,
I give him a little tap, like Anfield-esque, as I went through my doorway.
Do you remember there was a programme called Hero to Zero, and at the end of it, Michael Owen comes to life. It was very old BBC like programme in like 2000 and then like 1998 probably. It was around the time that Owen scored at the World Cup, so it might be like 99. And I think like the last episode, the guy's got a poster of Michael Owen and he comes alive. And I imagine that you would lay in bed at night hoping that suddenly Pearce would be the end of the bed.
This is getting very creepy right now.
To be fair, Jack, you've got a poster of Jonathan Pearce.
The thought of Jonathan Pearce at the end of my bed now, now that I've grown up, somewhat scares me. I've got to be honest.
Where'd you buy? Sorry, I'm never getting off this. Why? How do you buy a picture of Jonathan?
I went to Robot Wars Live in Nottingham as a kid.
They sell posters of Jonathan Pearce. Oh, God.
Jeez, man,
you're the only person to have bought one of those. You're the only person to have a Jonathan Pearce poster. You wish you still had it.
It might be worth millions now after this.
Oh, my word.
From Robot Wars in an industrial estate in Nottingham to Brazil for the World Cup, he's made the big time.
So anyway, that made it 2-0. It was classified as an own goal, which really hurt my draft because I have Benzema. But luckily, he popped in a third, late doors, and it looked pretty easy for France. What did you make of France then, Carl, overall?
See, a lot of people were just going on about how, well, France looked. They looked like a new team, and just constantly going on about how well and great France are this year. And, there's no doubt about it. They played nice, good-looking football, and Valbuena really impressed me, actually. But, I think, when you're against a side like Honduras, I mean, I get that they're physical, it can be some ugly football, and they managed to play nice-looking football. I really want to see them against a decent side to see, are they really that good this year? But, the commentators didn't waste any time and made sure that we all realized that, France were definitely a better side this year, and there's a lot of young players in that team now. And with not many caps, actually. So it was actually entertaining to watch. And I think France are a good side, but I want to see them tested at a higher level before I make any serious judgments.
Indeed, Jack.
Honduras were very underwhelming. I don't think they actually completed a pass into the France penalty area. I think they had I think there was 11 passes in the final third for Honduras, of which 4 or 3 found their target, and they were all out wide on one wing. France looked solid at the back, but as Callum said, they just weren't tested. It was impressive going forward, and they did control the play well, and it's one of those games where, given how Honduras were played, given how stop-start it was, they still were able to play some nice football without getting too much thrown off their game with what was going on the pitch. Just looking forward to seeing them kind of play a few more games against perhaps slightly more prolific opposition.
Yeah. So that concluded that group, I believe. And then we move on to Argentina, who kicked off their group in I want to say emphatic style, but they didn't really. It was a really pathetic own goal by a Bosnian player. Messi whipped in a free kick. It was kind of flicked on, and then, a mess. What did you make of Argentina overall, Cal? They weren't. I think people expected a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly did. I have to admit, for this game, I wasn't entirely glued to the screen, but I did manage to watch, bits and pieces. But Argentina, they looked to be good, but yeah, like you said, I think the expectations of Argentina were just really, really high. So obviously going in, with that being said, though, Bosnia aren't a team just to sort of scoff at. They are actually, a really solid side, and I thought they put up a good fight against Argentina, but. you know, it's just I think everyone just when you hear about the players in Argentina, you got Aguero, Messi, you've even got Lavezzi, Di Maria. You know, attacking wise, you just expect goals, and they didn't come out. You know, I think people were expecting 3-0, 4-0, something like that. But like I said, Bosnia aren't a team to mess around with. They're actually pretty good.
What did you make of Bosnia, Jack?
Well, I backed them to get a draw yesterday, and I predicted a scoring draw, which obviously didn't quite come out. I mean, 2-1. I think it didn't really flatter Argentina, but as you said, Bosnia played very well. They defended superbly. They kind of set up on paper in a 4-2-3-1, but kind of, especially in the first half, the three kind of attacking midfielders did something that England just failed to do when we played against Italy, and that was that they weren't afraid to drop back and really squeeze and crowd out the midfield, and it showed. Argentina really struggled. Messi was shut down for a lot of the game. I think in the first half he had one successful dribble attempt out of like 4, and his passing wasn't that much better.
I mean, do you not think that that's really worrying for Argentina fans in particular? Like, if a side, like Bosnia or whatever, can shut down Messi that easily, surely teams that you're going to be meeting in, supposedly the quarterfinals, semifinals thing, surely it's just as easy job for them to do it as well.
Yeah, we saw at the last World Cup. We saw at the last World Cup that exact thing happened. There was the situation where Messi wasn't on top of his game. Argentina breezed through the group, then faced someone like, it may have been Germany, and lost 4-1. I think what happened was we got beat by Germany, and then Argentina had to play Germany, and the same thing happened to Argentina that happened to England, and they just got blitzed. And there's obviously going to be that worry for Argentina fans. They don't want a repeat of it, but I can see it happening. Messi was interesting. I don't think the shape of Argentina was particularly good. Why they were playing 5 at the back, or like a 3 at the back, with just Dzeko up front, who I didn't think had the best game, weirdly enough. I don't think Bosnia used him enough. It seemed bizarre to me.
Dzeko's usually one to turn up for the big games as well, so I honestly, I thought, he might have done something a little bit more, but, it is Argentina, so.
On the shape front, Argentina got very frustrated. Messi ended up coming quite deep at times. I think he completed like 70% of his passes, but of the ones he completed in the final third, his pass completion was less than 30%.
Jeez.
You are all about the stats today.
Well, no, I looked at these stats because I was curious, going into the first half, because Messi was just completely shut down, and so I was trying to see what actually went wrong for them. And it literally was a case of Argentina just couldn't do enough with the ball with Messi. And I feel as if players like Aguero perhaps didn't turn up either, and they weren't being marked nearly as tightly as Messi by as many people.
Yeah, we said before the game that, well, not before the game, sorry, before we came on to record, that Messi's very used to at Barcelona having players to play 1-2s with, and when he's not got that support from midfield, because Mascherano was pretty deep, they brought on Biglia, who didn't really change the game, but gave a bit more sturdiness in the middle, and it was proven when Messi scored his goal, whips it into a player, gets it back, and then scores I think it was a nice finish. It was.
Yeah, it was. No, it was a nice goal.
So that put them 2-0 up. They were cruising, and then their keeper decided that he didn't want to be a goalkeeper anymore, and just was like, "No, I don't want it. Just let it go in the goal." So are they suspects at the back? Do their defence really worry you, Cal? What do you think of them?
Argentina's?
Yeah, Argentina's.
Not really. Like I don't know. I thought it was just quite average, if I'm honest with you. Like, I wasn't like, wow, this incredible defense, but at the same time, I didn't think that they completely melted down. I mean, at the end of the day, they did only concede the 1 goal, and I have to say that 1 goal is, a bit of the keeper not doing his job properly. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about the defense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it may well be a case that we're so focused on their attacking flair
absolutely,
that we underestimate their defense in some cases, or they're just not that good.
I think one of the things for me is the fact that Argentina kind of set with this kind of 5-3-2 of sorts, and I kind of feel like they've not got that balance. They kind of have. I don't feel like they have enough link-up players in the middle of the park, because you look at their defence, they've got Garay, Federico Fernandez, Campagnaro, then kind of Zabaleta and Rojo, who kind of play out wide. And then you look at their centre midfielders, Mascherano is the one who drops slightly deeper, and then I feel like Di Maria and Maxi Rodriguez are both players who like to maybe push slightly higher up, and I kind of feel like they maybe lose a little bit of link-up play in the centre of the park because of that. I feel as if, defensively, Argentina aren't that bad, but I feel as if they don't have a balance in terms of a formation that benefits them and allows them to defend well as a unit and then attack well. It's very much, at the moment, I feel like it's very separate units.
Yeah. So that was summed it up. There was 2 Argentina. They'll be happy to get a win. Bosnia were easily the toughest game in their group, you'd suspect. So I think Argentina fans will be pleased to have come out with that without any injuries and with a win. So we'll move on to the Twitter question of the day. I'll let you two think about your answers and we'll come to the end. The question was, we saw technology influence the game at the World Cup for the first time yesterday. If you could bring in some technology, what would it be and why? So obviously we post this to Twitter. If you want to get involved and have a good answer read it on the show, then do so. We asked the question about midday, so be around. Tommy said bathroom break technology, which I'm not even sure what that is. Any idea?
I can't say I know. I mean, maybe, when a player, you can see a player's in a bit of distress and really needs a toilet, maybe a little alarm goes off, everyone just stops for the lad, he runs off to the toilet, comes back, we're good to go.
I've got this image of sirens going off and then these urinals just rise up in the dugout area and all the players just blitz them for 10 minutes.
Or just come up from the ground where the players are standing and everyone just takes a leap.
Maybe the ref has got a special whistle and he blows the special whistle and then from the ground urinals appear.
He summons them.
There's no half time anymore, that just happens. And you've got to do it there and then. And then you get face cam reactions. It's got a bit weird. A lot of people have said robot referees, which I was all for.
Wasn't there a robo-ref in Robot Wars? I knew this.
Why? What is with you and your goddamn
They could have one of them. He would never get in the way of the ball.
Yeah, so people were saying the same thing, robot linesman. Someone said, Richard said, give the ref tasers, give the divers something real to complain about.
Yeah, no, I'm all for that. Let's do it.
You're all for tasers.
I've got that. Like, a player dives for a penalty, and instead of all the United players or whoever it may be, I've singled out United again because I'm a biased Liverpool fan. But as they all crowd around the ref, he just pulls out a taser and tells them all to get back.
Yeah. Back away.
Get down on the ground.
Someone put on the diving front, Tom said, an Apache helicopter that shoots a player when he dives. I don't think that's the best idea. We've seen Gary Lewis.
I just feel as though it's slightly on the extreme side.
I think it's perfectly reasonable.
Just slightly. Yeah,
just a little bit. I just feel as though it's just a little bit too far, unless you want to take Everett out. But besides that, honestly, you're not gonna have any need for it.
All right, well, Jack, you've heard some suggestions from the Twitterverse. So, what did you think? What are you changing the game? What are you doing?
I think every player should either get a jetpack or they play in like a low gravity chamber, so like the ball can go up really high in the air and all the players can leap crazily.
Right. Excellent. That's probably the best one I've had so far. Cal, can you beat it? What would you do? You can do whatever you want.
Oh, Jesus. Right, you go. You're going to have to give me another little quick minute to think about this.
All right. What would yours be? I would have floating goals.
Okay.
How's the keeper going to float with the goal? Please explain.
Well, I think you've just covered that, Jack, with your gravity suits.
So you've just copied my idea and given it to the goals?
I'm not quite sure you involved the goal. So if you do your idea with the floating goals and they're in a bubble, it's like, you know that Nike advert from years ago where they're in a cage?
Yeah.
I'd like to see football played in a cage. Not necessarily technology-based, but with a moving goal.
It's not a bad suggestion. I can give you that.
Jack, even I shall say, it is probably the worst suggestion, and some people did robot referees.
I'm trying to make you feel better about yourself. I'm glad that you've seen through it.
Move on.
What was that, sorry? I think it would just be fantastic if players. So you know how have you guys played like the fighting games where you get you start to power up, and then when you get your full bar of power up, you turn into something.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, a player's having a great game, right? He's just playing magnificently. He hits that power-up bar. Next thing you know, he presses a button somewhere, and he turns into Hulk. I mean, I think that would just be fantastic.
It reminds me of FIFA Street Game Breakers, where
exactly.
The original Game Breakers on FIFA Street. So maybe we attach rockets to the player's boots, and they get like one power shot.
Well, let's have it. The gravity thing comes into play once you get your power up.
Yes, this is everything. We can evolve everything we've just come up with, and this would be space soccer, and I'm for it.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we cast a brief eye? So yeah, like I say, Twitter question. Get your answers in on Twitter every day. So let's cast a brief eye over the games tomorrow, and then we'll get onto the quiz, which I know everyone's waiting for. So Iran, Nigeria will kick us off.
These are today. No.
Is this today? What did I say?
Yeah, you said tomorrow, but I mean, I'm not.
No. It is today. Around Nigeria, or yesterday.
We don't want people turning up and like missing the Iran-Nigeria game because you've given them the wrong day. That is not on.
It is today, I'm certain.
We've got so much to... All right, fine, it's today. Okay, so I've not really got many notes written down. Nigeria, arguably the best team in Africa, and the African teams haven't really set the world alight yet. Cameroon certainly didn't. Ivory Coast beat Japan, obviously, but... sorry, Jack.
I actually really enjoyed that game. It has to be said. I really liked watching that game. Just thought I'd let you guys know that.
I'm a huge Japan fan. Like,
I really am. After that game, I thoroughly enjoyed Japan.
Jack, let us know what the Japan fans did, just for people that don't know.
Oh, so Japan fans, after the game, they stayed back for like 2 hours and cleaned up the stadium after themselves.
That is absolutely amazing.
That is great. So what do we think? Let's just do predictions for around Nigeria. We'll start with Cal.
2-0 Nigeria.
Jack?
3-1 Iran. I don't actually think it's going to be that, but I'm thinking if I was going to put money on a really unlikely scoreline that I think could happen, I've got faith in my Iranian boys.
All right, I'm going to be that really stereotypical guy that just doesn't rate Iran because I don't know much about them and just say 7-0 Nigeria.
Does anyone know anything about Iran?
No, we'll come to the big game last. So we'll look at Ghana-USA. Obviously, the big talking point in this is that Landon Donovan did not get a call-up from Jurgen Klinsmann. So if America failed to beat Ghana, Klinsmann will be on the chop. Actually, I'll just tell you what they said. The American media are unhappy with the fact Jurgen Klinsmann said it probably won't be our year. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean we can't win? Well, I don't understand. But we're the United States, USA all the way.
We're the world champions for baseball, American football. Why can't we be the world champions?
All this sort of good stuff.
They're really annoyed. So where do we see this going? Ghana are pretty decent, Carl, so go on.
Yeah, personally, I'm actually a big USA fan, funnily enough. Just as far as their players go, I think that this year, I mean, this could be a pretty crazy shout, and it could go it could be backfire and then come bottom of the group, which is very likely. But at the same time, I think the USA Portugal game, I think you could see an upset there when that comes around. I really think USA they're gonna give Ghana a really good game. I think it's pretty much even. I can't say who's gonna win that game, and I think that I think the USA are kind of like dark horses of that group. They're gonna give Portugal and Ghana really good games, and then just get slaughtered by Germany.
All right, Jack.
That wasn't a score prediction, but mine.
Did you want a score prediction?
Yeah. I was sat there waiting for it to get to it. Like, there isn't one.
The Ghana game, I'm gonna say 2-1 USA.
Okay, Jack.
2-0 USA.
I will go 1-1, and Jurgen will still be okay. Yeah, the first draw. Why not? Okay, so the main event of the evening, which is actually the middle of the three games, but Germany-Portugal.
We don't want people missing it. 5 o'clock kickoff today if you're in the UK.
Yeah.
Gee,
you need a calendar. I'm going to get you like some kind of diary so you can pencil everything in day by day.
Who ordered this on the document?
You. So
Germany-Portugal. Germany always seem to perform at World Cups. How they're going to stop Ronaldo? That'll be interesting. And obviously Portugal, bit of Argentina syndrome in the same way that they've got one kind of talisman and the rest of the team are kind of made to fit around him. How do we see it going, Jack? We'll switch things up.
Oh, Portugal. Portugal, for me, I feel as if Ronaldo... It depends on how Germany handle Ronaldo. He's the kind of player who can swing a game in your favour. I saw the Portugal v Ireland pre-tournament game. Portugal had some really nice attacking movement, and it didn't actually all come around Ronaldo, but I think the big thing for me is how well can Germany see out and kind of shut down Ronaldo, because I feel as if you can stop him performing and really keep him quiet, you can basically control a game, and I think Germany have enough players that they can control a game, and even if Ronaldo has a good game, Germany, I feel as if they have enough about them across the park that they're overall just stronger and they're going to run out quite comfortable winners here.
Yeah, is there an argument that this game is quite like the Holland-Spain game, where you've got a team that is quite likely to be dominant against a team who have got a couple of standouts? Obviously, Ronaldo's he's not the only player that Portugal have got. Obviously, they've got quite a lot of talent in midfield. They're not bad at the back, and they've got Nani and whoever else to help Ronaldo. But I can see a shock. I can see Portugal really upsetting the apple cart and taking points off Germany. How do you see it going, Cal?
I mean, I think it's less of how do Germany shut down Ronaldo. I see it more of how are Portugal going to make sure Ronaldo has the biggest impact in the game.
Yeah.
And just because I think that Germany themselves, they can almost run the entire game themselves without solely focusing on shutting down Ronaldo. You know, they'll play their own game, they'll do it, you know, their own way, and then it's down to really Portugal to make sure Ronaldo doesn't just get shut out because Germany are playing their own game. That's how I kind of see it, and I think if they do well at that, you know, they manage to get a lot of Ronaldo on the ball. But with that being said, I don't want it to sound as though you know, Portugal don't have any other quality players on the pitch that it, you know, solely depends on Ronaldo, because it really doesn't. I've seen it happen before as well. If they do, you know, shut down Ronaldo pretty well, there are other players that can come into play and actually, you know, like you said in the Ireland game, they have some really nice attacking moves, and it doesn't necessarily revolve solely around Ronaldo. So they're definitely capable of some nice stuff. And yeah, I mean, I mean, of course, I think I'd have to go with the favorites, Germany. But like you said, I would have gone with the favorites, Spain, in the Holland game, and we both saw how that turned out. It didn't go so well. So, I mean, I would love to see an upset, if I'm honest with you. I would really like to see just Portugal just play really nice attacking football. I'm really, you know, because I think this game is going to be one to watch, but I'm not entirely convinced that there's going to be a lot of goals involved.
Okay, so what are you going score-wise?
Score-wise, I mean, I have to go with Germany, and I'll have to say 2-0, but I would love to see Portugal run riot and win something like 3-1 or something. But as far as for being realistic, I'm going to go 2-0 Germany.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I'm going to say 3-1. Jack?
3-1 who? Portugal?
3-1 Portugal, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I fancy it. Oh, you're going for a draw. So you think that'll be the first draw of the day? All right. Okay, so we've gone through yesterday's games. We've gone through today's games. I've got it right, and it's now time for the best moment of the whole show. To be honest, Jack, can I get a jingle?
I don't. We still don't have one. If you want to make us a jingle that an Irish broadcaster won't then steal, feel free to.
Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Do we want to touch on that briefly?
Yeah, go on then.
So basically, guys, you know our theme tune, you know how it goes. Our Brazilian one's been stolen by RTE, who are the largest Irish broadcaster in Ireland, and they're broadcasting every World Cup game, and we're a little bit miffed, to be honest.
Yeah,
so if you're a lawyer...
It's been actually just nabbed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely. So if you happen to be a lawyer, or you happen to be in Ireland and can record it for us, because we can't get it, they play it during their quiz question thing to win tickets to the World Cup or whatever it is before adverts. If you can record it and tweet it at us, it'd be greatly appreciated. And if you're a lawyer, let us know. What can we do? Or we're lost. Anyway, that got very serious when it's meant to be the exciting quiz.
Let's liven this up. Well, I've got a quiz to go. So obviously we know Jack's leading the quiz, and yesterday Jake tied it up with you. So you're both on 6. Nepentha's got 0.5 points after a bit of negotiation.
Well, where would this 0.5 come from? When I listened to it, it sounded like he was pretty, you know, rock bottom to me.
Well, we agree, but you know what he's like. He's a hard man to argue with, and he definitely won't be listening to this, so we can slag him off as much as you like. Okay, so the quiz. Jack, have we got 30 seconds on the clock?
I'll get the clock up right now. Do you want to explain the rules to anyone who doesn't know the quiz?
Okay, so 30 seconds on the clock. It's a World Cup themed quiz question bonanza. Cal, how do you feel your chances are going to be like in this quiz?
Yeah, I feel me and Nepenthes are going to be battling out for 0.5 points.
All right, well, you know, Jack, are you ready?
We're ready.
Right, so can you give me a 3, 2, 1, and then we'll go.
I can. 3, 2, 1, go.
How old was Pele when he made his World Cup debut?
19.
Incorrect, 17. Did Jack have a poster of Robert Wall's legend in his bedroom?
Yes.
Correct. Who were the first teams to qualify for this year's World Cup?
Can you ask it again? Sorry.
Who were the first teams to qualify for this year's World Cup?
Portugal.
Incorrect, Japan. Are you doing well in the quiz?
No.
Correct. Michael Owen scored a memorable goal for England in the 1998 World Cup, but what was his squad number?
Oh,
stop.
12.
Incorrect, 20.
Oh, I mean, I was like, I got 2 right then.
You got did. 2 more than Nep.
So
you weren't doing very well in the quiz, and you knew that Jack had a poster of Jonathan Pearce in his bedroom.
See, I know all of the football stuff, man. I had that. I'm so knowledgeable when it comes to football.
The next question, And do you know what? I'm still going to give you a chance here to add some points onto your tally. This is uncalled for, but this is unconventional. For 5 bonus points, Calfreezy.
5.
When is my birthday?
Okay, now I know this one. You'd be surprised.
All right.
August 12th.
Correct.
See, look at that.
September the 1st. Unlucky. Send your presents in now.
We'll give him half a point for trying. He was close.
You got no.
He was within a month.
Trying. We're not a charity case. So you got 2 out. So that puts you 3rd on the leaderboard.
Actually, 2nd.
Well, yeah. Okay, 2nd.
We'll big it up because there's joint first, so you are 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Right, so
I'm really happy with that. Thank you, guys.
All right, good. And that brings us to the end of the quiz. Jack, jingle.
It's been stolen again. Sorry.
Oh no, not again. It's awful. So that brings us to the end of today's show. Jack, do you want to cover the social media stuff?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube, you can check us out on iTunes. Just search For The Fans Show, or you can find us in the sports section somewhere. If you're not already, you can follow us on Twitter at For The Fans Show. We're on YouTube at For The Fans Show. All the podcasts go up on YouTube, although they do go up sooner on iTunes. If you want to catch them first, iTunes is the place to be. And we're going to be on BBC Radio Manchester today at 4:45, giving our thoughts on the weekend's football, as well as a bit of a look forward to what's going on today.
Yeah, that's happening all this week. I'd like to thank our guest, Calfreezy.
No, thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and I'm actually so happy I got 2 points in that quiz.
Well, good. I'm pleasantly surprised. So from me, Ben, my co-host Jack, and Calfreezy, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you in a bit, guys.
Bye-bye.